Ready to go whenever you are.
Yeah, very disappointing. I would never, after the way we practiced for the last 2 weeks, would have never thought I'd see us have that many penalties, that many turnovers, and just basically mental error that really cost us when we got back in the game in the coverage. So it's round one. We've lost round one, and we'll get ready for round two.
Okay, our first question is going to come from Greg Allman.
Coach, you talked about being worried about special teams mistakes with the lack of practice in preseason games. You had the blocked field goal. You had the muffed kick on that short kick. How much of that was what you saw coming?
I didn't see any of that coming. We practiced all that stuff. We had a poor protection up the middle on the long field goal. Good time. He hit it good. We just got beat inside. And then you never go backwards for a football. You learn that shit in high school. And Mike Edwards decided to go backwards for a ball. And I mean, another thing you practice, and you never anticipate guys doing it in the heat of the battle.
Bruce, to see 2 interceptions from Tom Brady, I don't know how much you've been able to see those, but what happened on those 2 plays that led to the mistakes?
One was a miscommunication between he and Mike, and he thought Mike was going down the middle. It's a different coverage. Mike read it right, and he should have bent across his face, but Tom just overthrew it. And the other one was it was a screen pass with an outlet called, and he threw the outlet, and it was a pick six. Bad decision.
Thanks, Bruce.
Okay, next is going to be Rick Stroud.
Hey, Bruce, overall, what did you make of Brady? Did you feel like they were just out of sync? He got a lot of pressure. I mean, what was his overall game?
I mean, it came out lighting up. We go right down the field and score a touchdown. So I wouldn't say he was out of sync at all until we started screwing it up. We didn't run the ball as well as I thought we would on the edges. We had some success, but we had some good drives and we had some really poor drives. But the turnovers and the penalties were the key.
And did you expect more from Ronald Jones, or did you just think it was the offensive line didn't play particularly well?
No, I think Rojo, I'll go back and watch the tape, but he looked like he ran really well.
Okay, next is going to be Jenna Lane.
Hey, Coach. Tom had talked about having a difficult time with communication during the scrimmages. What was that like for you guys communicating down on the field?
There was no noise. I mean, it was like a regular practice with no noise. I mean, we practiced with a heck of a lot more noise than that. I mean, I was kind of disappointed. I don't think it was fair to the Saints to have it that low, and because you could have an easy conversation across the field to somebody. It's not a very good deal. I mean, it should be fixed.
And also, can you just speak to the performance of your offensive line, particularly your tackles? It looks like there was maybe some struggles at times there, some pressure got to Brady.
Yeah, I mean, he held the ball some. Again, we'll go back and watch the film, but once you get in those known passing situations, it's tough on them, but they got to do their job. So I'll go back and look at the film.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, next is going to be Ed Encina.
You got your mute button on, brother.
All right, Ed, we're going to go ahead and go over to Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Bruce, you guys were your own worst enemy at times last year. You said that in order for you guys to become a good football team, the Bucs need to stop beating the Bucs. Would you categorize this as another instance of the Bucs beating the Bucs today?
I mean, there's no doubt. So that's what I said to start with, and it's my job to make that stop. I thought we had it fixed. Obviously, I didn't do a very good job of getting it fixed.
And then also, too, in order for you to beat the Saints, your defense has got to come up with more than one sack and take the ball away. You had 0 takeaways today on defense. Do you agree?
Yeah, we had a couple go right through our hands. I mean, he threw it to us 2 or 3 times, and we had a penalty on one where we should have had an interception, and another one goes right through Jamel's hands. So we just got to catch them when they throw them to us.
Thank you, Bruce.
Okay, next is going to be John Romano.
Bruce, you've been in this league long enough to know that games like this are going to happen, but just how deflating is this considering all of the buildup that was leading up to this moment?
Yeah, we kind of canceled all that noise out. I mean, we knew we had a tough opponent. We were going to have to play really, really well, and we didn't play very well. I mean, that's the most disappointing thing is of the way we played and the mental errors and the penalties. And we practiced fourth and short, never jump off sides 100 times. And actually, guys were telling each other, don't jump off side. And, we jump off sides. That's unexplainable to me, but we got a lot of things to correct.
Okay. Next is going to be Karen Loftus.
Hey, Coach. Devin White and Levante David both had double-digit tackles in this game. Were you pleased at how they were flying around today?
Oh, yeah. I thought the second half, I thought the defense played really well the whole second half and, got a bunch of 3-and-outs and gave our offense a chance. But those two guys especially, I thought played really, really well from what I could watch.
Okay. Next is going to be Rick Stroud.
Bruce, it looked like, I guess, Mike was well enough to play. I know he's been questionable. How much do you think that hamstring bothered him, if at all? And he was shut out today. He drew some important pass interference penalties, but he just had the one catch for the touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he had 100 yards. You get that many pass interference calls. I mean, those are yards. They're not catches. They don't go into stats. But he had a 100-yard game easily with just pass interference penalties. So he's going to catch those balls if you throw them, if they're not hanging all over him. So, yeah, I don't think Mike was bothered that much. We kind of try to watch him as much as we could.
Okay, we're going to go back to Ed Encina.
Hey, Bruce, can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's just a little quiet, Ed, so make sure you're loud.
Okay. Bruce, just going back to Mike, I mean, how he's such a big part of your offense. Obviously, like you said, he had those pass interference calls, but, do you have to figure out a way to get him more involved?
No, like I said, I mean, he had 100 yards. I mean, he had, I don't know how many targets, but, when you're getting that many balls down the field thrown to you and you're getting PIs, I don't know what else we can do to get you the ball, but no, I don't think so.
All right, next is going to be Greg Allman.
Bruce, you talked about the crowd noise probably not being as loud as you thought it would be. What were the other things that stood out to you in terms of the adjustment and the things that are different in how the games are being played?
Well, obviously it was the first game for the officials with no preseason too. So, but it was just, I would have liked to have it really loud. We're okay with noise. So it's just more energy in the building. There was absolutely no energy in the building with the noise the way it was. And, I mean, other than that, it's just like practice.
So you'll want it louder at your place next week if you have any control over it?
I would hope so. I mean, yeah, I mean, my mom probably wants it louder too, so she doesn't hear me cussing all the time.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right, next is going to be Luke Easterling.
Bruce, obviously Scotty Miller with a big game. What can you say about his performance and the way he stepped up?
Yeah, just he's done it every day in practice. He's getting better and better. Tom trusts him. He utilizes his speed real well, and that's what I expect of him every week now.
And then the defense, obviously no takeaways, but did have a lot of third down stops, like you said, and got the offense back the ball in that way. What can you say about the positives you can take away from the defensive performance?
Yeah, I thought our second half defense was outstanding, other than the one busted coverage when we let Cook catch the ball down the sideline. And other than that, I thought it was really, really well in the second half. Gave us a chance to win.
We have time for a couple more. We're going to go to Jenna Lane.
Coach, I've asked you about this before, about, your comments at the end of the season and how, the Saints, they knew they were going to win the division in September. And you said you guys believe that you guys can win the division, that there's no doubt. Do you still feel that way about this team?
Hell yeah. I mean, the Saints didn't do some of the things we did to ourselves, so we got to play better. But there's 16 games. We can win this division without a doubt.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, we're going to close up with a question from Ben Volen.
Hey, Coach. I know there's just a lot of excitement about the season with Tom Brady coming and Gronk and everyone. But with all the changes and all the new receivers and very little practice time, was it too much to expect Brady and the offense to come out and just start clicking seamlessly?
Yes and no. I thought we came out and went right down the field and made some good plays and scored, and then we hit some lows when we weren't on the same page, and don't know why, but we'll work on it. And we tried not to listen to the hype and just go to work every day. and we'll go back to work Tuesday and then get ready for Carolina.
And it seemed like he had the ability to check out some plays at the line of scrimmage. He made some adjustments. Just what's his grasp of the offense right now?
Oh, he's got a total grasp of it. I mean, he made a bunch of checks today, and some were good, some weren't, but he was on top of it.
That's all for today. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.